Welcome for another episode of Tactical Tuesday. Here we have John's second round game of Welcome Back. I don't recall what his opponent's name was. Doesn't really matter. We're covering what John's doing and what decisions he's making, what plan he has for his troops, why he set units up where he did, and so on. And what we're going to do is going to cover actions that he takes to maximize the effectiveness of his troops in this crazy game of maneuver and racing to get the best positions on the board. It's a very interesting scenario. It's actually pretty tight, to be honest with you. In my opinion, I played it super tight game. John played it here. It went back and forth. You'll see that. Anyway, let's get to some of the action. We got some preliminary stuff right in the beginning. It's lengthy. Put it on 2 times speed. Put it on 1.5 times. You'll cruise right through it. When you want to slow down and listen to concepts that you want to be interested in, slow down, back it up, and then back up to 1.5, 2x. Makes it go faster, makes it more enjoyable, cuts down the time. Let's go to it. Thanks for watching. Let's take a look at this scenario.
This was what I drew for the second game of the Human Wave tournament. And wasn't I'd not played this before.
Okay.
And I didn't exactly know what the basic construct of the scenario was. And I was thinking, okay, I've got a paltry amount of American forces, but I actually thought I was going to be defending along the short axis of the map board as opposed to the long axis.
The top side?
And so that changed the dynamic quite a bit once I realized what I was going to be up against.
Right.
And I went through, I actually found your replay, since I didn't know anything about this scenario, from a couple of years ago. And I sort of looked at some of the basic defensive setup on that and sort of pressed on from there.
Right. Now, was that before you played the game or after?
Before.
Okay. Okay. So you kind of prep for it. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah, trying to do a little bit of intel prep of the battlefield. But,
yeah, absolutely.
It was one of those things. I'd played a game the day before and lost that. And when I saw what the ratio of forces was here, it's basically about 3-to-1 in favor of the Germans. I just didn't have a whole lot of confidence.
This one's 3-to-1 in favor of the Germans?
Just about, by the time you lay all the squads out and whatnot.
Wow. So. Okay. Okay. I have an answer for that, but but that's the what you see me doing. You're in the room, right? Oh, Keith's in the room as well. Okay, cool. Oh, good. Keith. Can test your voice, Keith? I am not a huge fan of them by any stretch of the imagination. And let me go through here. If you're watching on the screen here,
I am.
Instead of you've seen that I've eliminated all the little green dashes that go between the hex sides and all that other bullshit. That takes about 1.5 hours to set up because you have to copy and paste each and every one of those dashes. Just use a long green line like this. I mean, just do that. I mean, first of all, when I start a scenario, it's good to have setup areas like this. I mean, I have to agree with that. I'm not saying that it's a terrible idea to have demarcation lines, but once you're done setting up, delete the SOBs, and to delete all those little lines is tedious. The same thing with the off-board blue hexes and square hexes. I would never ever do that. What I would use these hexes for, let's say the blue ones in particular. Let's say you've got a victory control hex. Or if it's fortified, then just do something like this, so it's not obtrusive, and yet it's still quite visible, right?
There you go.
It's not in your face, and that's why I deleted the green, because when you were playing as a player, you're going to be drawing lines of sight, especially this one. You got to essentially defend the whole board. He's got a ton of troops. There's a lot of pressure, and you've got this obnoxious green zigzag line in the middle. It's the game is tough enough as it is. Just minimize that, and you'll see me. I created this log file, And this is what I do here. Do you see the green or the German insignias on the exit lanes?
I do, yes.
And so I would do something like that. It looks cooler, right? I mean, it's German, Russian, whatever. And then if you want, you know, to exit between them, I put like these little arrows, you know, exit between, you know, are they box? And then that way it really kind of defines like a field goal post, defines where you're going instead of all these nasty black hexes. They're just such a bad distraction to me. Again, if you guys love it, by all means, it's your game. Set it up however the way you want it. You tell me what's missing here, John, which is the most important thing. Or Keith. Keith's actually watching, but he's not on the call. You tell me what's missing here. The most important thing that you have to check all the time.
Not immediately obvious.
It's on the scenario card. Under the picture.
Victory conditions.
Victory conditions. You have to have print those out. You know, they don't have them on he doesn't put them on here for copyright things or all that other bullshit that MMP is going to come send the cops for you and all that other bullshit. Do your victory conditions. They need to be up here. I didn't know the victory conditions. It's exit 10 victory points. So it's not up here. It has point values for them. It has like exit counters, which is fine. The box is fine. Nothing's wrong with that. Little exit German victory point thing's fine. No problem with that. But you need, as a player, to get those victory conditions up there. So every single turn, at any pause in the game, you glance up there. We're the VC. Oh, he needs to get 10 off, you know, because if he puts 4 counters over there in the German exit counters, is he close to a win? Is he far away from a win? Because that's going to determine how you react based on what he's doing. So VC have to be up there.
One of the things you can't see is my setup on the desk, you know, when I'm playing the game, because usually I've got the scenario card right underneath the monitor that the map.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
So I've heard you say words to that effect a couple of times in the past in different venues, and I said makes sense because, you know, and as we've discussed earlier, we have seen a couple of times when these just did not quite comport 100% to what the scenario card said, and so I make sure that the official scenario card, whatever form it might take, you know, is right there in paper on front of me.
Right.
I'm not quite computer literate enough to have it, you know, on a third monitor or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
No big deal like that. As long as you have it in front of you. With the victory conditions, I would just do you know how to find the labels in VASL?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just create a label. Victory conditions, and it's an immediate German win. Of course, it's
right.
How can it not be unless there's a casualty victory point cap? Germans win. I'm gonna put exiting 10 plus VP. I actually might put this up later. I'm not sure where I am on my log. But these blue things down here, again, I just put them on. I just left them on here to show you that I'm going to delete them.
Got it.
And again, what you should do here instead of that nastiness is use the new template. This is far superior. It's on the hex grid. Draggable overlays. It has its own tab. Hex grid. This is what you want to use. All right. So anyway, the first time I ran through your file, your opponent. We're gonna run through a setup, and then we're gonna first of all, before you even get there, tell me about your setup and this is what we're doing. Your setup and what your setup does for you and accomplishes for you. Why are your guys where they are, and what do you have them plan to do within the first 2 to 3 turns?
I wanted to be able to slow down any mad dashes across the board real fast, and slow down any major thrust enough to where I could shift, so I could sort of identify where his primary attack was going to come, and shift forces from one side of the board to the other.
Okay.
And kept enough stuff, a lot of heavy firepower in the center, with enough range to where it could sort of reach out and touch stuff as needed in case you just wanted to do a diddle diddle straight up the middle kind of thing, since you had a lot of open ground there.
Right.
And I had enough stuff there, I thought, to dissuade him on that. But basically, I was just looking to hang on by my fingernails until until the main thrust was revealed and I could shift forces accordingly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, tell me about your OB. Do you have the card in front of you by any chance? I mean, you could just click on your counters, but if you had the OB,
I think I remember it well enough. I had 2 flamethrowers, 2 medium machine guns, 1 Modus 50 caliber, which I dearly love. I picked up one of your bad habits. I've started to name my leaders.
No, that's a good habit. That's a good habit.
This time, since it was Luxembourg and sort of related to Bastogne, I chose characters from Band of Brothers. Dick Winters is the 10-2 with the Modus in the center. I've got Lipton, first sergeant over there on the far right with a flamethrower. I basically, and both my lesser leaders, my 8-1 and my 8-0, had the flamethrowers. I wanted somebody elite who could carry the flamethrower and also could do 8 hexes at CX if you needed to. I wanted that flex kind of available.
Gotcha. Yes. And, yes.
That actually turned out. I lost one of the flamethrowers as a casualty during the game, but I actually got 2 shots out of it, I think. Before,
we'll definitely get to that. We'll definitely get to that. So okay. So your OB here, it says, I'll just read it from you. 2 747s with the 5 exponent smoke,
right?
Mind you, the 667. What's different about the 667 versus the rest of your crews?
He's elite. He's so he's got, well, obviously got better morale than the rest of the bunch,
right?
And so that comes in handy.
Absolutely. That's all pretty much what I want to. He's elite. I actually pointed that out. I kind of so that'll come into play as well. And so you have 2 666s, good smoke making capability, excellent range, and we'll get into the range. And 3 5.46s, your utility guys. These are the guys that honestly pretty much win the game for the American. If they win, the 5.46s are essentially the ones that are going to carry the load and take the damage. You know, you've got them all in the front over the left-hand side. And they do a number. They do a number of the Germans, and so that's don't underestimate second line units. You say, oh, they're crap. Well, they got a lot. There's a lot of fight in those 5.46s. Tell me the difference between. Tell me the advantage that a 5.46 has over a 4.47.
Well, number one, it's got a smoke exponent, and the 4.47 doesn't. It's got assault fire capability.
Okay. What about close combat?
Well, it's always going to be able to get 1-1 on a 4.47, and a 4.47 will always have a 1-2.
Exactly. So what does that mean to the German?
That means he's going to have to stack up a whole bunch of guys to winkle you out of a building, which is exactly what happened, I think, about turn 3. Turn 2.
Yeah. So he's got to commit 2 guys to take you out, and you can potentially tie up 2 guys for that. It'll be a 3-2. We don't care about the 3-2. We care about tying up those 2 guys. So that's huge, because if you tie up 2 guys, that is 15. That's 15% of his force or something like that. Huge.
That's exactly what happened. Now, those 2 guys I had out there to the far left, those 2 second line 5.46s.
Yep.
Both of them are in for presidential unit citations. I mean, one posthumously, unfortunately. But
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I mean, there's some good stuff happening early. Let's go back to your setup here.
Okay.
So obviously, 90% of the time, the HMG is pretty much going to be centralized. Just obviously, the range, you want to maximize the effectiveness of your range. Tell me about the placement. I say the MMGs also pretty much do the same thing, and they're supporting the HMG. I like that sort of formation there. You can do some damage there. Now, my question to you: if I see this as the Germans, because I come on second, right? I see this as the Germans. What's the German likely going to do when he sees that in front of him, in front of 4 hexes of open ground?
No, he's going to do everything he can, to put as much obstacles or hindrances between me and those hexes. I mean, he's going to go student body left, go up through the woods, and that's basically what he wound up doing. He had the heavy attack over there on the left, and basically sort of a fix and place attack over on the right. Just make sure that I wasn't able to move stuff.
Right, and we'll get to that as well. So, what you've done, again, I'm not saying it's necessarily incorrect. Could you do the same thing with the 2 guys right in the middle, in V6 and P6? These guys here, we're going to get to these guys in just a second. Could that same effect, if I were the Germans, do you think that would have the same effect? 9-2, 666, 667. High rate of fire, long range, my guy's coming on, I got no smoke. Number 1, Germans have no smoke. They're taking shots. If you can get shots on the Germans where he has to cross open ground, he's going to eat it because you have strong firepower as the Americans. So my question to you is, do you need this unit here? It's almost like a rhetorical question per se. I haven't looked at it. I don't have the answer for you. Is there another position where this might be more effective than right there? I mean, I know you like that stone building and all, because there's a stone building. There's 2 stone buildings right there. Would there be a more effective, essentially?
I thought a little bit about possibly putting it at R2, maybe repositioning the 50 cal, but I kind of like the interlocking fire patterns here. And I had a big.
You could do the circle dot thing. You can do the circle dot thing.
Yeah. This guy here. This right here was going to be masked over to the right by that building there.
Yeah.
And my opponent saw that right off, and he used it quite a bit.
Right.
But this guy wound up overperforming, and it basically sort of shot up this entire right flank attack.
Yeah. R7's an issue, right? I mean, you just can't get. The only thing you do is shoot through that thing and just destroy it. And if you put him in Q6, you're kind of damning yourself to P6. But you do have the potential to put him in Q6. If you do put him there, this guy has to be very close to take the brunt here. So that puts the pressure on these guys a lot to perform. If he's here, they're essentially becomes subsidiary, because winners can still cover the entire bottom area. So I
could possibly have put him over here, and that would have really messed things up. That's probably.
I like the 5.46s. I like them there.
Okay.
I like them there simply because what you have here means there should be no Germans coming on here. This is a no German zone, essentially what you're establishing. 10-3 with the HMG, that's a no-fly zone, baby. I mean, there's
pretty much,
there's if you're moving in there, you're just throwing units away, and we see what happens when that comes up. So, like I'm saying, I'm just thoughts on where these guys go. Now we'll get to the what I would like to see you do is the convention is putting your support weapons on top of the guys. Because that could lead to confusion later on with other players and so on and so forth. Like if this guy's like this and he's on top of this guy and he said, "Well, I'm going to fire the flamethrower." Well, who's got that?
Exactly. It's
just go by the normal convention right there, and that's just something I get used to. I mean, just like you did with the mediums, no problem there.
That's my own experience. I would have done that, except I'm usually used to having my leaders on the very top of the stack.
Yeah.
No worries. I was working a support weapon, and
and another thing is you get to see where your flamethrowers are because they're flamethrowers. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
They if your opponent doesn't see them,
he can't react to them.
He could like, okay, I'm just going to swarm Lipton and say, "Oh, you got a flamethrower? Okay, big deal. You fire at one guy dies, and the rest of them swarm you." But just like you said previously, you had him over here and he was scared. That's what you want. You want him to be scared of you and not come after Compton. If you watch in my game when I did it, it's like, well, I'm pretty much throwing units against the flamethrower to destroy the flamethrower. You know, I want him to roll the 1 and 6. I'm willing to sacrifice a half squad or a squad, because if I have to do a half squad and then the half squad jumps him into CC, it forces him to fire on me, like we covered in the last tactical session. You force him to fire on you, or he's going to get CC'd and die. So that's what my plan was, but I assign units. But anyway, 747s, and then we'll get to the nitty gritty of it. Tell me what you think the primary purpose of your 747s are in this scenario.
They were primarily there to they were my smoke generators. I mean, they were essentially there to help lessen the incoming fire against those positions I felt were a little bit vulnerable. I had that one.
Not necessarily lessening incoming fire, because he could always wait for that smoke to dissipate and then light you up, right? He's got a shitload of units. What? The smoke is right. Tell me, in my opinion, what the smoke should be used for, and you already said it. You already said it in our discussion. What's the smoke used for in this scenario? You already touched upon it. What do you need to do when the German shows up 16, 35 squads against those 546s? What are you going to do?
You got to be able to get them out of the way. Fire once, you know, and drop back.
No. The 747s. What are your other troops doing over here? What are these guys doing? Or the 10-2 or the 666, and it shows up in the game. What do they want to do? What does your force want to do when he's committed to one side?
No, move. He's got to get from one side of the board to the other.
Correct.
You know,
what does the 747 allow them to do while they're moving?
While they're moving.
While they're moving. Okay. Before they move, what does the 747 want to do?
He wants to drop smoke.
He's going to throw smoke in wonky fire lanes. You've got him in the right area. I'm not going to complain about the location. I honestly, I'm not a big fan. Oops, sorry about that. I'm not a. This is fine. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. That's personal decision. But this little like roadway here is shootable. So if you should happen to be dislodged, and even if you go back in here, not a problem. You know, you might retreat, and the Germans occupy these locations here. When your 10-2's on his way over, you want to make sure he doesn't get popped by some BS shot. So
that actually happened.
Yeah. That's what my clue. We'll get to that. So that's what the 747 is. Now, with that in mind, how does this 747 smoke making capability actually help you?
Well, it facilitates movement across those fire lanes, and
up in here.
Not so much up in there, but okay, over there, I'm less sure as to what the smoke making would.
Correct.
Be worthy.
You are correct, because pretty much there is none.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, his 5, let's say he drops smoke somewhere here. It doesn't really matter, because over here is where the fire shots are going to be slipping between buildings, right?
Right.
So that's where you need the smoke to be dropped there. Mind you, the 666 has got excellent smoking, but 5 is a guaranteed. You're either smoking or you're going to be pinned. That's all there is to it. Smoking or any more. So keep that in mind. His value is obscuring shots. Actually, he might be, I mean, like right in here. Like, let's say, because you want to move this unit this way. Not that this is the best spot, but if you were here, and there's some Germans on this side, he could drop smoke right in here to obscure that kind of that line of sight there. Over here, you're going to be running. There's not going to be an opportunity to drop smoke. Just FYI, just kind of, and this is just analyzing. Okay, why do I have 2 747s with 5 smoke making capability in my OB. It's to drop smoke so my guys can either assault. Most of the time you're not going to be using it to attack because A, you're outnumbered, and B, you don't really need to attack. It's pretty much going to be defensive or maneuver oriented. So not a bad problem. I like the 747 there. I don't think I've seen that with other players, so that's I like that. The other thing, who can use flamethrowers?
Well, pretty much anybody, but you want them to be used by an elite person.
Correct.
So that's why I have strapped onto the back of leaders, so
Okay.
I didn't have some extra breakdown numbers.
Correct. Your idea about putting them on leaders, especially the 8-0,
Yeah,
that's a thumbs up on that one. This 8-1 over here,
that's straight out of Richardson.
over here,
Yeah.
in my opinion, let's say I push hard. Let's say I push hard over here as the Germans, right? And I send 7 squads on this side because I want to punch here and make it out here. First of all, they still got to cover open ground, and these MGs move 1 hex, boom, and they all get shot to hell. Okay, so squads are being here and here, and maybe in the maybe right there, or they're bypassing this guy. Is this guy ever going to be in a, let's say, safe position of 2 hexes away to any German assault force? If he breaks,
I was thinking he might. Again, trying to anticipate, which side he was going to come up. The middle, I figured I've got to take care of. Not a problem.
right.
If he came up on the right, I figured one of the places that he was probably going to be getting into real quick was going to be that stone building right there.
Right. Can he make it there on turn 1?
No, he cannot.
You sure?
But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I don't think he can get there. Okay, no, I take that back. Yes, he can on the advanced phase.
Right.
So yeah, he can get there on the first turn.
What happens if this guy's here or here? Am I taking my force into that building? Am I taking my German force right here?
Nope.
No way in hell. I'm not taking a 12 shot, and I'm not taking a 24 shot. You might want to do something like this, so at least he gets subsequent first fire. You're not taking a 6-2 and a 6 even, and you're not getting torched by a 24.
Yeah.
So again, I would be on board with this. And if he just like rinky dink puts guys on here, advances them on, then you just back the hell up. Okay, I'm here now, baby. What are you gonna do? Then you do this, and the same thing: 12 firepower, 24 firepower, and this guy is extra, and he could be here or somewhere.
That was one of the compromises I had. One of the reasons I had him a little bit further back was that I knew if he was going to be sprinting across the open field, I wanted him as far back as possible.
Yes, I understand. My question to you: if you're here and he occupies FF6, are you taking that shot? Are you shooting him if he goes into FF6? If he puts 2 squads into FF6, are you taking that shot? 1 or 2 squads, I don't care what goes in there. Are you taking that?
I am.
Okay. If there's 1 squad, if there's 1 squad in there, are you taking that shot?
I'd think about it.
Okay.
But, I probably would.
Okay, that's what you have to determine, is what you're willing to shoot at, and I'm down with that. If you're willing to shoot at him, if you're not willing to shoot at him, that's what we're evaluating here. If he somehow gets a squad here, 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 and here, right? He's got a fire group of 12. That might change your opinion a little bit, but that's a 12 shot versus a 24. Again, not a problem. If that's what you want to do, I'm on board with that. I am on board with that because that melts that building. That means that building is nothing. I have no problem. Which again, if he's afeared of it, he's not going to occupy it. He's going to stay in the woods. What's in the woods? Your other buddies to take care of the business. So right. I'm on board with that. But you could, let's say for instance, and then we'll get right to it. I've never seen this. I haven't seen this up. Obviously the woods is the easiest way to approach.
Yeah.
Let's say we have a flamethrower. Let's say at turn 1 and at turn 1. Again, who else can hold the flamethrower? Elite units, assault engineer.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
And then we got.
Excuse me.
Let's say we got something like this going on. And then
yeah.
maybe you do this. Is anything getting through those woods?
Not soon.
Not soon. Not soon. And you also have that the double whammy is if this guy parks. If this guy parks in this intersection here, and you've just got a 5-4-6 over here, nothing. There ain't nothing moving adjacent to this guy. I don't care who you are. This guy's lighting them up, literally and figuratively. So again, not a problem. That's just something that you might want to consider because you could pin that out. And so we'll just go with that. Again, things to think about. Can someone else other than the leader? Because the reason why I ask that is because what are we losing over here? And this is what you need to consider.
Rally capability.
And what else?
On right side, left side.
Lipton. What are we losing when Lipton's got the flamethrower away from our squads?
Well, we're obviously losing the benefit of having the flamethrower as a backstop.
And what are we losing with Lipton?
Any leader directed fire.
Right. So if the 747 were here with just Lipton, that's still one hell of a deterring force. So essentially what you're doing is you're converting Lipton into an 8-0 leader, and you're losing the modifier. If that's the way you have to go with it, that's the way you have to go with it. But again, we want to use our resources to the best of our ability. So let's get on with the game, and then and this is the things that you want to think about before it even happens. Okay, I've gotten this array. This is really a hodgepodge. You've got everything in between assault engineers to elite to first line to second line to you've got everything the Americans have to offer in this scenario.
Pretty broad range of stuff there. Yeah, you had all sorts of different levels of troop quality and equipment. It was pretty amazing. Right.
So I don't really care that these are 5-4-6s. I think that's where I put my guys, or my opponent put his. I don't really think it matters too much over here. You could argue a 6-6-6, but guess what? If you put a 6-6-6 over here, his range isn't being used.
True.
So your range of 6-6-6 is being used here. You get to cover this, and this bad boy is the same thing. You're maximizing the effectiveness of your range. I like that. So therefore, your 5-4-6s need to go over here by default. Again, no big deal there. Just things to think about when you're setting guys up. Again, the only thing I would criticize is maybe have the 7-4-7 maybe a little more central when you know you're going to be moving guys. And so that's about it. The rest of it is judgmental. And this is your plan. I saw your setup. It's like, damn, let's go with this. Let's go with this. So let's go with the Germans. Let's see what the Germans do. So
okay.
we're going to advance through here, and I've got some notes here. And yeah, so we covered the purpose of the flamethrowers, MGs, know the troop types, thoughts. Okay. Let's get the enemy set up, and then let me get your thoughts on his setup. Okay, all of us are right here. Let's go to the middle. Let's go to the left-hand side. What's the first thing you should think about when he sets that up?
The first thing I thought about was I need to do what I can to break up his right side attack to move those guys on the right over to the left as soon as possible.
Okay. Are you afraid of this entry point?
On the left side?
Does this concern you? Is this concerning to you?
Yes.
Why?
It's basically he's got a better part of 11 squads there.
What type of cover is this guy going to be in?
He's going to be in, it's going to be initially fairly open. I've essentially got 2 squads that have any sort of line of sight or line of fire on his entry points, but he can spread out enough to where I'm not going to be able to, I didn't think I was going to be able to bust him up too terribly well.
Right. Right.
The reality was actually a little bit different, which totally surprised
Yeah,
me.
which is really, really cool. Where don't you want these Germans to be?
I don't want them to be in the woods.
Nope. Where don't, if these Germans get in a certain spot, you're screwed. Where don't you want them to be?
Okay.
Do you care that they occupy these woods down here at the bottom of the board, as far away as possible of their victory hexes?
No, I don't.
Okay, so where, if he wants to intend on it, I don't have a problem with the Germans entering here. Where don't you want them to get to?
I don't want him to get into the woods over there to the right of the line of woods going towards the north of the board, because that basically gives them a covered access point.
How about these hexes right here? More simple than that.
That became an issue as well. Took me a while to get up to those buildings.
Right. If he gets the medium machine gun and the 8-1 leader here, are these guys getting across?
No.
No. No. That one unit is going to stop these guys from getting across, because he's going to have a minimum 2 shots. One for the first guy, one for the second guy. 6 morale, he's going to break. 7 morale, he has a better chance. He might break.
Yeah.
And you're only firing back at him at, that is what? If you're here and you fire here, that's going to be an 8+4 shot. Not good. So we want to stop him from getting these buildings if we can. That's just my point. When you see this guy, when you see this down here, it's like, okay, I want to deny this. I want to deny, especially the MMG, this building right here at all costs. Okay? If you break, what happens when you break?
Pretty much stay broken for a while, because I don't have any leaders close by, and he's probably got 4 squads off the board in fairly short order.
Ah, but does he? Winners is protecting this thing here. These bad boys is protecting your other flank. He's pretty well protected. Yeah. Let's say he breaks, he goes to U6, he DMs, then you hightail it back to U3. At that point, you're going to self-rally in a turn or so. And that's a good spot to be. You kind of want to move there anyway, right? I mean, eventually, if he's putting too much pressure on, you can't get any morale checks, you're going to end up here, here, or here anyway. So it's just a slight delay, but
that was part of the plan. That was one of my route locations.
Right, absolutely, and that's what you need to think about. Where's this guy going to go when he breaks? He's going to go here, and then he's going to go here. I'm on board 100%. This guys can cover him. Now the question is, if this guy has to stay here to cover him, and this is where command decisions go, and we're not going to cover it because it's just based on what you need to get done, based on the game flow. If these guys are crammed over here, he kind of has priority over here. I mean, just pure and simple. Does this 666 can he still cover that area? Hell yeah! Look at that. Look at that range this bad boy has. 1, 2, 3. Let's look at that. That's 10 right there. This is a 2-2 to here. This is a 2-2 with the machine gun and a 2-2 with the squad. And that's a pretty good shot. I don't care which way you dial that. That's he's got 2 shots doing the same thing that Winners does. Winners is just going to annihilate anything. Just if he shoots something, it's just going to die. I mean, that's just what he does. So obviously, his priority is stopping the German assault. This guy can still cover for Winners if necessary. Okay. So that's just where we are on that thought. That's why I like the MMGs. You are very versatile in being able to react, because your MMGs are more centralized, you know, and then now you can react to the situation. On board with that. So you're set up on the left-hand side. Obviously, this is his giant push. You're just going to have to try and stop him best you can. And I mean, it's just obvious that he's just going to hammer on through here, and we're just going through some stuff. So so we'll just go through his movement real quick. He pretty much like assault moves on here. These guys here come on here, and you take this shot here. Why do you take that shot there? Let me ask you that, good sir. And I'm just asking you, as I'm not saying anything about, but why do you take that shot there? What does that shot give you? What does that shot give you?
Gave me I think it was a 4 column 2 down, because of no it I think he wound up breaking him, but it.
What else does
basically
it?
Just
What else does it give you? More importantly, against a horde of units, what else does it give you?
Dual firepower.
What happens after he's done firing? What's he leave behind?
residual.
Yeah.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, Keith, you're a little low. You're a little low.
Okay.
Let me crank your volume up a little bit. He gives him a little bit of residual firepower there. Is he going to move the units to there? I don't know. But guess what? When you leave residual firepower there, he's unlikely to do that. So he pops them. But, and this is why I point out, you forget to place residual there.
I do. Yeah, there's trust me, both of us, both my opponent and I, probably about the same level, which means that both of us were making procedural and mechanical
No, I have
errors.
no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all. But because you're facing a horde, I mean, it's easy to forget, especially like if that's his only unit that's going to move and nobody else is going to move over there. Half the time I just don't. But why bother figuring a counter out when no one's going to move in there anyway? This has a small percentage of doing there. Plus, it puts into his mind that, oh, shit, residual firepower, I might have to dance around that. We're going to continue. But I'm just saying, that's just a mechanical thing that you need to think about when I pop him. And as long as you don't cower, even if you cower, you definitely want to leave something behind. So this guy goes here. Now, what do you do here?
I do subsequent first fire.
Right. What's your fire chart?
4 column down 2.
Down 2? If he's in what is that, A7, what's the fire chart on that? Anybody can chime in here, doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's I missed the woods.
That's
Yeah,
two.
It's down
Minus
1.
2.
If he's an A7, if B6 subsequent first fire, so what's his firepower going to be adjacent hex as the subsequent first fires?
4 firepower column down 1.
How are you arriving at down 1? This is what we're getting at. This is why we're here. How are you arriving at down 1?
Non-assault movement. It's down. Wait a minute. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
you got non-assault movement -1. I'm good with you. I'm good with that.
-1.
What else?
And then there's no FFMO because
Nope.
it's not open ground.
Nope.
So
Is there a terrain effect modifier in the hex?
yeah, there's a 10 of 1.
Right. So what's that net shot?
Oh. So it's flat 4.
Flat 4. Okay. I understand the point blank shot. I understand. Let's look at our column. This is like fire discipline 101. 4 flat. We roll a 7. What happens?
It's a pin task, I believe.
Okay. What do we leave
still have
behind?
The charts.
What do we leave behind?
I leave a 2 residual firepower.
Okay. If I move into that hex, which you'll see the other unit does, if I move into that hex, what's the residual firepower attack going to be?
It's going to be a.
Okay, hold on. Let me just put it on
It's
here.
going to be
Two-
a,
two
be
plus
a
one.
Flat 2.
It'd be a flat 2. Yeah, 2 plus 1. But if he's not assault moving, or if he's non-assault moving, it'll be 2 even. But if he's assault moving, 2 plus 1. Absolutely. So it depends on how he moves in there, right? So you got a 2 plus 1, which is what do we need for an effect?
2 plus 1. You need a.
Let's say 2 even. It'll be a 2 even shot. What do we need for an effect?
At least 5.
Right. And if we roll a 7, does that get us anything?
No. does
Okay.
not.
All right. Now taking that information that we know into account, you fire on him right here. What's your firepower attack going to be when you subsequent first fire?
2 down 2.
2 down 2. What do you need for a pin task check on a 2 down 2?
2 down 2 would be a 6. For a pin test check.
Keith?
I'm sorry, an 8. An 8.
Okay, you need an 8 for Pintask check. If you fired adjacent on him, what would you need for Pintask check?
I would need a 6.
No, because that's even. No, this is a 4 even here. This is a 2 minus 2. This is a 4 even.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. On your 4 column. For Pintask check, what do you need?
7.
7. This is an 8. This is a 7. Let's keep that in mind. You fire on him here at 2 minus 2. Slightly better odds of damaging. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, and what does that leave there?
More residual.
Okay, how much residual does that leave after a 2 firepower shot?
It's going to leave 1.
It's going to leave 1. Is that a problem? Did we just screw ourselves? Let me ask you that. Look at the picture. Did we just screw ourselves in that situation? Anybody can chime in.
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. Why wouldn't that be a screwage situation?
It seals off that side of the board. Either way, if he advances up either one of those rows, he's going to have to take residual fire before you get a chance to do final fire against him.
Right. Gives you a free attack, and it seals that side off right there. There's only one more unit to move over here, but maybe he doesn't want to move in the middle. Maybe he wants to move on the backside of the road. Okay. So regardless, he gets there, and you didn't place the residual anyway. So, but this is what we're looking at. This is why residual is so valuable.
Absolutely.
In that, essentially, remember, when you drop residual, there's 2 here and 1 here. What you just did, again, I want to reiterate that. These are free fire attacks. This one unit got 2 attacks off, and now anybody else moves in those shots, you get free attacks. There's no cowering. There's no nothing. It's all -1, at least for first fire move in the open. -2 if they're moving normally, you know. Those are crazy shots. A 1 minus 2 needs what for Pintask check?
7.
5. Excuse me, a 7.
A 7. And so our 2 even needs a 6, right? Our 2 even in this hex needs a 6. So even though it's half the firepower, you're getting all that sweet juiciness of the -1 and the -2 FFMO and all that good stuff. So this is going to be a better overall attack than that one. Is he there? Even if, let's say, your attack gets nothing here and he makes it here, no big deal. He just makes it there. That's all there's to it. But so let's continue from that. And I'm just going to leave those residuals there.
Excellent lesson.
Yeah. So residual is huge. So he does his thing. I think you break him. You break him with that attack. You would have done the same thing in the other one. So, but again, and this guy, if there were residual there, would he be doing that?
Probably not as fast.
He would probably have to take the route over this way, right? He can still get to the woods. I mean, we're not done 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still getting to one of the 2 woods, but he's getting to this one, which is potentially an LOS there, and he might take that shot there at a 4 firepower. He might not want to do that, but anyway, he gets there, not a problem. Do you want a final protective fire against that unit there? You've broken 1 unit, and this guy's got an LMG stick in your face, and he's CX'd. Do you want an FPF right there?
I do not, because I want him to live as long as possible. I want him. If I'd rolled a 6 or less, he's gone. That he fails his own morale check. So,
right, 7 or higher, he'd be screwed, which is more likely going to happen. Even if you had an 8 morale this early in the game, you don't want it to. He's CX'd, and we're going to cover the CX in just a minute. So good fire discipline. You did what you needed to do. 2 guys are broken. Boom, he's there. He's going to get a 6+4. You're going to laugh at him. You're going to look out the window, and you're just going to, there's nothing he could do. He can't do anything to you with that. You're, for all intents and purposes, immune to his attack at that point. No need to shoot him.
At that point,
Okay, no need to shoot. Actually, we're just going to leave this here just at residual. Actually, since you shot at him up here, we're just going to put it here. And again, when he moves in there, if you put your residual, he'd take a 2 even shot. Another free shot. He might have broken from that shot. He gets there for free because both of you guys forgot the residual. And in my opinion, in terms of playing the game, if a unit fires and it's like just a regular squad, for me, it's both players. You just place the residual. You just place it because it's just a rule. You just place the residual. If you had rate of fire, don't place the residual. You know, if you only shot the machine gun there, if you only had a machine gun, you fired the machine gun there, you got rate of fire, you might say, hey, do you want to place residual or do you want to keep rate or whatever like that? Just because we're still learning the game, right? We're still learning the game. And because some guys place residual as they get rate of fire, and that turns into real ugly real quick. But it's in my opinion, it's both players' responsibility. Just throw a residual down there. When you're just throw it down there. Even for him, he should do the same thing for you. My opinion.
Get it. And it was oversight on both our parts. One small technical note was he didn't have Discord, and so the fantastic voice quality that you and I are enjoying right now from the Coast, I was using Skype.
Oh Jesus!
And, yeah, it was.
Skype is. He takes a free 2 even shot there. Of course, he could have moved. He could have avoided that and go to B7, and then that would be a real hard decision for you to take, right?
Yeah.
Do you take that shot or not? That's a hard one. Again, I think the decision is still no, simply because you need to survive. So I'm on board with that. But some people, if that was 8 morale, and I route first, you could route way the hell back here, and you got a leader that's, but no, 90% of the time that's a no shot. That's a no shot to me. So let's continue. We're gonna leave the residual there that you guys forgot. Not a problem. Not a problem with that. I don't have issues. It's just something that you got to get used to. Remember the green? Why are they green? You tell me why those counters are green.
Excuse me? They're American.
Why are the residual counters green?
Because they exist only during the movement phase.
Right. So you think movement phase, you think smoke, residual. Okay, perfect, excellent. That's very good, very good. So let's move some more Germans. Let's move some Germans.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy, this little maggot, again, he doesn't do that, but he goes to C8. Not a problem. He's just going to avoid that. He might not want to move to C8, right? And especially like if this guy, for whatever reason, fired at this guy, it would block this unit from getting over there. Does that bode ill will for him? Yeah, probably, but that's a game decision. That choice is up to you, not to me. But if you want, like I say, that's a game decision. Not a problem with that. But you see what the residual does. He just goes to C8. Again, that could be another shot. This guy just moves forward. What are you waiting for F7? What is in your head? What are you waiting for F7 to fire at?
I wanted to get one of the machine guns.
Okay, excellent.
I wanted to get a good shot at one of the leaders and one of the machine guns.
Right. Why didn't you take this shot here?
I've got 2 hindrances.
Yep. It's a shitty shot. It's a shitty shot. Are you worried about him firing back at you?
Yeah.
Should you? What are you in?
I'm worried about it, but less so than probably he should. So.
What are you in there?
I'm in the stone building.
Yeah. What's the modifiers coming back at you? Let's say he's got full firepower. Let's say it's the defensive fire phase. What's that firepower?
It'd be a +4.
Yeah.
It'd be 3 for the building, 2 hindrances, and down 1 for the leadership modifier.
Yeah. Do you give a crap about that? Do you give a crap about 8+4?
No, I
no.
don't.
He's got to roll 4. He's got to roll 4 for morale check. 5's a pin. 5's doable. 5's doable. Pin sucks, but the breakage ability is minimized. That's a minimal attack, so no problem with that. Good discipline on that because there's no threat from that unit. No threat from that unit. None. Okay, him. Definitely don't shoot him when he gets in the building. This guy here, you're looking for an LMG. That's what we're looking for. A machine gun, not a problem. Now, this kind of goes back to the setup here, because you've only got 1 unit. If this unit had been one hex over, yes, we've got this here. Is he going to be able to occupy that hex on turn 1? Can the Germans get there on turn 1? The answer is yes. He can get there, right? He can get there.
Technically, yeah, but he's going to be going through a shitstorm of fire.
How much is he going to pay for it? When he takes the building, you're going to pay.
A lot,
there's at least 3 broken squads that are going to be sucking up a 12 chart. If he advances in there, that's fine. Then guess what? He's looking at a 20 chart on turn 2. He's not going in that building. If you're not there, he ain't going there. Ain't no way in hell I'm moving that guy in the advanced phase right there. Not with this SOB over here that just moves over. That's not happening. That's just not happening. So this gives us a slight more flexibility to stop this BS from happening, because you probably don't want to use this against this guy, right?
And I did.
You did?
I did not.
You did not. Yeah, okay, because you probably don't want to, right? You want the 5.46 firing at the LMG.
I wanted to hang on to the flamethrower. You know, my experience with those is usually a one and done if I don't break it out right before I even get the flame out of the tube.
Right.
So,
and is this guy a threat to anybody? Is this guy a threat to anybody?
Right now, not really. No.
His only threat is cutting route past to G7, but this guy's going to go straight back. We don't care. Well, this guy's no immediate threat. With a CX, it doesn't matter. This guy could assault move here with impunity just about. So not a real threat. Is he a pain in the ass? Yeah. He is. He's a pain in the ass, but
he wound up being a little bit of a pain a little bit later, but
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just, like I said, we're just covering our options here. Again, no problem. Good fire with discipline, and this is where the bouncing ball really screws up replays. It just, Jesus. And I wanted to zoom in enough so you guys can see. So there's your first leader.
Right.
You don't take that shot. He just, I'm not sure why he moves 2. I'm not sure why he just doesn't go into that building. But anyway, he doesn't. And then
join the club. There's
right. Oh, this guy actually, I think he's set up an H10. So yeah, that's a no-brainer there. Right, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. That's a no-brainer. So you happen to miss him.
Yeah.
And what did you hear?
I heard.
Oh, you cowered. Yeah, you yes. Yeah. So what did you forget on that? What did you forget in this counter?
Forget on the counter?
Why didn't you subsequent first fire right here? Anybody?
When you cower, your final fire.
Right. This needs to be flipped over.
Yeah.
This needs to be flipped over. Both you and your opponent's responsibility is the final fire, because one, if you inadvertently leave it there, again, it's just one of those little mistakes we make. Just know that when those doubles come, it's fine. You're done, baby. You're done. So what that does, if he had other units to move, he just you know, this 9-1 just does this sort of bullshit, and with impunity. So that's why it's important to label your markers properly. You did it over here. You said, but when you get that cowering, especially when you're doing it against your enemy units, they make sure he puts that final fire on him, because that makes a big difference in moving your units around. Big difference. Yeah. So let's go ahead and continue some more.
It's not going to be the last mistake you see in this game.
No, not a lot, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I made very simple mistakes in many of my games. Every single one of my games, I make simple mistakes. It's not a problem. Playing ASL is a game of mistakes. You just want to kind of like reduce them a little bit. That's all. But they happen. I mean, you could have been your wife could have been screaming at you. Your kids could have spilled something, and you got to pick up again. I mean, there's just called. You know, there's a lot of mental anguish that goes into playing this game. And again, the bouncing ball, I just effing hate this. I wish it could be disabled, and I think they're working on it. But for replaying ability, it just bounces all over the place. Like this, I mean, I know you guys are discussing it and all, but he actually gets a pin on you. His advanced fire is pretty much going to be meaningless because he's advanced firing. Now let's check this out here in a minute. Let's get rid of the advanced fire's come and gone. Let's get rid of a residual.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's see what happens here. Boom, boom. Okay, we're getting there. He just does his advances, right?
Yeah.
And he's put a little bit of pressure on. Again, the stone building, he's making some little rotation going on there. That medium's a problem. Oh yeah, you tag again. You tag this SOB right there. That's what he gets for getting next to a 747.
Yep.
You're just gonna tag him. You know, that's your prep fire. It's a 12 shot. Does he have any leaders over there?
Yeah, but they're not right next to him.
For some reason, he's got them both tied up over here. He's got 3 leaders within. He needs somebody over there. This is a 2-turn rally, and you'll see that with these guys later on. You need how do you win the game? What's the victory conditions? This is what you got to keep in mind. What are the victory conditions?
You got to get your units off the board, and I've got to prevent that. And so that's I was playing the time game. I was just basically looking to try to slow him down as much as possible and force him to make bad choices, late in the game.
Right. So as the German, your primary responsibility is doing what with your units?
Keeping them alive and keeping them moving forward.
Keeping them moving forward. These are high priority. High priority. You got to keep them rallied. You got to be able, I don't care, his rally phase, your rally phase, I don't care what you roll, you got to be rolling dice. If you're not rolling dice, they can't rally. They can't rally. These 7-0s need to abandon this crap. 1 here, 1 there. 9-1, I would send him immediately over here. Now, he's not going to do shit. A 9-1, 8, that's the 1, big deal. This is more important. That's 4. This is the same thing. This 4 firepower is the exact same thing as a -1. But if he goes adjacent, it's a -2. And if you overwhelm this guy, he's gone, and now we got a free blow. But anyway, rally, rally, rally. Of course, at the end of turn 1, he may not be in position, but you need to get them out because it's exit victory points. Exit victory points. Again, that's why you create a thing, and if you want to, you throw this right here.
Yep.
You throw this right here, right there. That way I'm looking at that as the Germans, that's right in my face.
Yep.
That's what I want to do. I don't want to kill Americans. I want to do that. Americans are secondary. This is the primary mission. If the Americans die doing that, even better. But that's primary mission number 1. Getting those guys off. So let's continue. Let's go to... Hold on. The melee over here.
Yeah.
Did you guys do melee?
We did.
Let me back up 1 second. I skipped that. Oh, God. Is it not going to let me back up?
I don't think so. I've not been able to figure that out. But
Okay, screwed up. Okay. On this melee, he rolls a 6 and you roll a 4. What happens? If he rolls a 6 for ambush and you roll a 4 for ambush, did you ambush him or did he ambush you? Or did nothing happen?
It's got to be more than 3 apart. So.
Okay. Ambush chart. Check your chart. I always check the chart. I've been playing this a long time. I always check the chart because you always forget something.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this now.
Second one down.
It's because he was CX, I lost a modifier, and we discussed that a little bit after the turn, but it was already passed. And so I
no problem.
Missed an ambush on him.
No problem. What did you roll? Do you remember? I'll tell you what you rolled.
I think it was a 6.
You rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry. You rolled a 7. You rolled a 7. Does that do anything in this situation?
Yeah, I think because he rolled a 4, and so that would have been a 3. So. Yeah.
No, I don't care. I don't care what the later he kills you, but when you roll at 7, and because you guys missed that ambush, 7 -1 for ambush, right? You get the ambush roll.
Yeah.
And do you get any other modifiers? Or is this -1? Anybody can chime in. This is everybody's game. Everybody's game right here.
-1 because he was CX.
Right. So that's -2. So you would have CR'd one of those units. What does that do for you as the Americans?
Well, that improves my odds a good bit.
Right. Because he has 1 less casualty victory point to get the hell off the board, right?
Yeah.
That's 1 less point he can get off. So little things like that matter. Don't care that you missed it. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Happens all the time, John. All the time. But it's just one of those things. No big deal. Happens all the time. So just
the detail.
Just go. It's a game of details, and we forget them all the time. So I'm not criticizing you on that at all. But just every single time you ambush, Just get your chart out. Just get your chart out and say, okay, do any of these apply? Am I stealthy? Hell, I still have to look up the definition of stealthy. Hell, I don't know. You know, I got to look it up. You know, above half these things don't apply because SK. You know, but you know, if I'm CX and I'm pinned, that's +2. You know, and then the -1 essentially will shift the close combat comp. Just look at the chart every single time. Just I do it every single time, and because ambush is that important. So let's continue here. Let's pick up the pace here. So here's where you start busting his ass, right? You got a 4 on this guy. You got rate of fire.
It was amazing. And when I shot up the MG on that side, I figured, okay, I may actually have a shot on this.
Yeah.
So
you
that's when I started thinking about I can start moving the guys from the right to the left.
Right. Again, is this MG going to affect? Does he have any real threat against this unit in the stone building?
No, not now.
Nah, it's 4+2. 4+2. Yeah. He needs a 4 for a morale check. Keep rolling, baby. I don't give. But what he does have is just what you said. He's got this. He's got 12 hex range to here. These guys are taking a -3 shot on the 4 chart. These guys will die if he's not broken. Straight up. So you did good. You did rolled well, and the timing was very good on that roll. Very good. I'm sure he was pissed. I'd be pissed. And then
it got real bad real fast. So it just he had a string of 11s on morale checks and IMT rolls. You know, that just we wound up blaming Russian hackers.
Okay, this guy here, you talk to me, John. God, I can't back up. What the hell is going on here?
Okay,
where's that guy going from L7?
He is. I was going to try to get him to L3.
L3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is right there.
Okay, and in the advanced phase, where were you going to go? Or just L3? I'm just asking because I don't know what your plan was with this guy.
Ultimately, I think it's either L3 or K4. I think ultimately I wanted to get him over here so he could have a line of fire down this hex grain, you know, essentially, you know, strafing anything, you know, that comes out of the woods.
Right,
up there.
no problem with that. Is the German going to be there at the end of his next turn?
No, he is not.
Okay, keep that in mind. Again, we're here, we're there. We take a shot, I think from this guy, right?
Actually, I think it was.
Oh yeah. This guy over there. Yeah, 2-2. The 2-2 maggot, right?
Yep.
That's pretty rough.
It was rough, but he rolled.
Right, he rolled well. He rolled really well. Got casual reduction. What's this guy going to be here? You're kind of screwed right there either way. But yeah, that's a 2-2. Good shot. Did Winters prep fire? You're going to move him, right?
That was the idea, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. No problem. No problem. That's your plan. We're going to stick with the plan, right?
Yeah.
No problem. He got a lucky shot there. I was wondering if one of these guys fired on him because I was thinking like maybe go to M7 and then M6. I didn't know your plan with this guy. That plan was there. He took a 2-2. Yeah. He made you pay for it. I don't have a problem with that. No problem. Yeah. That just happens. That's just the game.
There's other squads to shoot at the flamethrower.
Right. I like what you catch with this guy later, and we'll cover that. This guy fires up there. Do you really give a crap about that unit shooting at you?
At this point, no.
Nah, he's CX in stone buildings, even with a flamethrower. It's going to be 4-3, no effect. It just no effect. He's if I was this guy, I would have saved my shot and fired the 8-4 right here. But that's me.
Again, my opponent, I think he was
no.
Nothing on that flamethrower. So.
Not a problem. Nothing's wrong with that shot in particular because of the -1, extra -1. It's just that it's a hard shot. 4-3, 8-4. They're both hard shots. So this one over this one, yeah. It's just a hard shot. That's just what happens with your CX. You really can't do shit about stuff in stone buildings.
Yeah.
And your bad boy from the middle moves, and you do the old. Oh, hold on. Oh, you must come back to him. Hopefully my thing is, so this guy just continues, he just fires on you. And that guy's pretty resilient in the middle. He fires, that's just a melee. I think he first fires the melee. They fire over there. This guy's in a stone building. So all those 4+3 shots are pretty much, this is what I like. Again, you may not have thought about this, but breaking here does what for you, John?
It basically allows me to move my unit where I wanted him to go to begin with.
Right. Why is that?
Because he's got 6 movement factors to use, and he's got to get to a stone building, you know, further away from the Germans, which is exactly where I wanted him to go.
Why can't you go here? Why didn't you go here?
It's going to be closer to a known enemy unit.
Right. On both sides, right? Actually, this one over here, darn it, where is he?
It's
8. So what do we do here? Can we ignore that?
I guess he could have gone there.
All right. That one actually might be closer to this guy. So this guy is the same distance, but to this guy, it's closer, right?
Okay.
But if these guys didn't exist and you only had this guy, you could ignore that because it's the same distance. And you got to where you wanted to go anyway. I saw that. It's like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. At least they did the routing right. You know, at least he chose the right direction, because that's assuming where you wanted to go. So that's a good deal.
I'll credit you for that move, because I remember seeing in one of your replays where you used creative routing paths to achieve your objectives.
Right. So and guess what? If you broke an M7, let's say you did my move, I want to avoid that little guy over there, but I'll move an M7. You're screwed, right? You're an M6.
Absolutely.
You're an M6.
That's yeah.
So again, when you're moving, you're routing. Think of where you're going to route when you move. If you broke here, do you give a crap? Well, you took casualties, but who cares? You got the MMG up where you want it to be. You're broken, but guess what? The M will come off and at the end of the turn, and you'll be able to self-rally this guy if your 10-2 is not there at the beginning of your turn, which is going to be a 7. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's a win. That's a win. You took a half squad to get there, but that's a win. You know, he didn't stop it from getting there.
That was about 70% of the result I wanted. But the question I have is, was that a legal route? Did I do that, you know, within the spirit and intent of the rules?
Yeah. You notice K6, right, was closer to him. That's a no-brainer.
Right.
And you are probably in. Yeah, you're in LOS to this guy, so you can't go back to L7. And even if this guy wasn't over here, you're 3, that's 3, you can ignore it. Right?
Okay. I took the shot from the guy there in T10.
Right.
But if I, for some inexplicable reason, thought I was going to get route to M6 and stop there, would my opponent have been able to say, well, you know, the units don't have line of sight to that particular building, so that would be your first legal route destination?
Nope. He does not have to have a line of sight to anything. All he needs to do is be closer. This unit over here.
Oh, okay.
This 447 8 minus 1. That's 13 hexes, right? He has LOS to you, where you start. You see him over there? That's 12 hexes. You're not getting closer to a known enemy unit. Right?
Okay.
Even though this guy is equivalent, right? And M6 is further from this guy, you can't go there because of these dudes. You cannot go here or here or here. So therefore, you could go straight up the road. You could go to pretty much any one of these locations.
Right.
Because this probably is going to be closer to here. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4. You could have gone there, to be honest with you, but you chose there. Not a problem. It's where you want to go. You achieved your objective. That's where you want to go. I'm on board. I'm on board.
I think if I went I got a little bit lucky. I think if I'd gone to J3, that would have given him one more interdiction shot. So.
From whom?
These guys here.
How would he interdict you?
If if the unit was they're getting ready to go into J3, he would have had a shot.
These are orchard hexes. You could route through there freely. Well, assuming you could route there. These are orchard hexes. They're hindrances. Yeah. So you're good. You're good to go. Another thing I like about this one versus getting over here is Winters is within an advanced phase of rallying you in his turn.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a good thing. This is a good thing.
I think that's kind of what happened too.
This is risky. This is, I hope I roll a 7 in my turn. This is, Winters is going to rally me in my turn, period.
Yeah.
That's a 10. That's a 10 in American phase. That's almost guaranteed. Okay? So I'm on board. You broke. You're there. No criticism. But I just wanted to kind of point that out. 99% of the people will do so. Well, they probably won't go here. They'll probably just go here because these bad boys are way kind of like out of the picture sort of thing. But they still count for routing. If he was 4 boards away, if this guy was 4 boards away, and that's 1 hex closer, can't go there. 4 boards. If you had hot coffee, donuts, hot dogs, you're not going there. You're going where the cold crap is here in the back that's probably got some rats on it. You know? So, not going to M6. Good route. That's very good. I like that. I like that route. And I like even more that you remembered my little bull BS routes that we had in other videos. These guys are routing. I guess they were not into DM. Can this guy go anywhere? He's screwed.
No.
Right? He's done.
No.
You've just mastered that MMG. He's never going to rally again. You know, your guy gets over there, not a problem. Close combat on the left-hand side, he pops you, no problem.
Yep.
He just pops you. That's just close combat. And oh my God, let's see, the route phase is going. Again, this is a log file. Let me back up a little bit. So it's his. Did you get the rally on that one? No, didn't get the rally. Oh, yeah, roll 8. So he prep fires again. He prep fires again, tries to break you. And I don't think you roll a 3, so you ignore it. He prep fires in stone buildings. Again, these are tough shots. That's a tough shot for him. You want him taking that shot.
He had just really, really bad rolls about this time.
But does he want to take the shot?
I don't know why he would.
Right. Where can this unit go besides that? He can start making his way.
Yeah.
He can start making his way and putting pressure on him.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to break him so he doesn't come against here. But this 747's, he's got broken units all over the place. This 747's more important. Come back here. Getting this unit DM'd is irrelevant. So he took the shot. That's the shot that he wants to take. Whatever. But you have to realize it's a stone building, and you only have 4 firepower. If he had 8, no problem. If that's a unit that he needs to attack, you know what I'm saying? Does he need to attack him? In my opinion, he doesn't need to attack him. But that's fine. That's just something that
I don't think he wanted a 747 running around in his backfield.
When he's in a stone building, that's where he's going to be anyway. And so he tries to make something happen here. I don't have a problem with that because you vacate the middle. He says, "Okay, I got to try and make something happen." Excuse me, something happen. You get an average roll. He gets an average roll. He breaks. That's just the game. 237. Now, what I would have done, I would have moved the 237 first, right?
Makes sense.
This is a full squad. Yeah. If he's going to do this, you want the 237. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like either 1, 2, 3, 4 across your path. Something. So if you fire on him, this guy might take a smaller shot. You know, he might be exposed to a lesser shot. So 237s typically go first.
That's one of my key questions. Had that 237 taken a shot in U8. Let's say he was in or still surviving or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the 447 winds up where he is now. After that, my subsequent first fire wouldn't be able to go past where the 237 was. Is that correct?
Correct. But in that case, if the 237 moves here, what did you fire on this guy? What did you fire everything at him?
Yes.
Okay. Is that really necessary? Let me ask you that.
Well, when you say that like that, probably not. But
is that necessary? You've got 1, 2, and he's already prepped. This guy.
Yeah,
look at this.
That was sort of a that was a conscious choice on my part. I figure, if I've got the firepower, use it, because if I can break the squad there, his leader's out of place and he's in the open, he's going to be languishing around down south, for quite some time.
Right. What's this guy's primary mission that you stated to me earlier?
Slow down the right flank attack and make sure that my guys over there on the right can get over to the left.
Correct. What happens when you fire here and there with this unit? When this guy's first fired, who can he not fire at?
The remaining German units there down in this area, yeah.
More importantly, who do you want to fire at? These guys are going to do what?
Sprint.
Okay.
They're going to be sprinting towards the left. This guy I want to disrupt because that's going to be leader-directed fire. And so if I've got these guys making a break for it about right there, they're going to get probably a down 3 shot, leader-directed.
What's his range?
4, but a 2 down 3 is still going to be.
It's a good shot. It's a good shot, right?
Yeah.
It's a good shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Talk to me about V10.
Talk to you about V10. Okay.
You first fire on the unit, you break him. With both weapons, mind you. And this is where the question comes in. Do you need to fire both weapons? The 237 moves. Do you really give a rat's ass about the 237?
No.
I don't care if he moves adjacent to you. You don't give a rat's ass about that guy. A 2+3 in the advanced fire phase is going to be nothing. If he jumps into close combat, he will die. Yeah. He is irrelevant for all intents and purposes. You could fire at him 3 turns later because he's barely going to make it to the edge in 3 turns. True. He is irrelevant for all intents and purposes. But what his relevance is baiting you into shooting at him. Who do you want? Which one target do you want to shoot at highest priority amongst those 5 targets?
It's going to be the broken leader, the MMG, and the broken squad.
Because what's he going to do in your rally phase?
He's going to self-rally, and he's probably going to resurrect the crew, and the MMG is active, and that is going to totally shred anybody moving across the top of it.
That gives a 12 hex range at 4 firepower, and he's a -1 leader, I think. Even if he's not, that's 4 -2 out here with rate. Right, he's getting 2 shots. He might get 2 shots. This guy is a 2 -3, 1 shot. This guy has range at 4 firepower, more dangerous. He must be DM'd. He must remain DM'd. You've got to take that MMG. I literally, in my Defiance on Hill 30 replay, my enemy had 2 medium machine guns. All I did was keep those machine guns DM'd the entire game. That was my highest priority. He never got to fire those medium machine guns. Never got to fire them. That's another squad. That's probably like effectively 6 firepower, when it comes down to it. That's a lot of firepower when you're talking, especially with a range. In this one, you have range. In my game, the range was kind of meh. But if you want to fire the squad there, that's fine. You want to fire the machine gun there, that's fine. 4 -2, good shot. All you want to do is pin him, to be honest with you. If he breaks, if he pins, he's not moving. If he's not moving, he's not winning. So all your eggs in one basket on 1 shot, which is not a highest priority. I would think this guy's moving the building anyway. That's going to be a difficult shot. But this DM, you must save 1 shot for the DM. You must save. That's my my suggestion to you. That machine gun is much more damning to all three of these units coming this way than this guy ever will be. This guy doesn't need to move anywhere. He's firing the entire way up. He's firing the entire way up the board. He has the entire board covered, and that's why he left him there. That's why this machine gun's here, is to stop this from coming this way. I guarantee it. It's not to break this guy, it's to stop this. Yep. He knocks out a flamethrower, a leader, and 2 squads. One of them is a huge smoke-making monster.
Yep.
So he just happened to get popped, and now he's paying the price. Again, for me, this guy goes right here. Or right here. And when he starts to make his move, I still have this line of sight coming past the building. Even if I take a -1 hindrance, I don't care. Guess what? I'm losing it on this side. And then when you're up there, I simply move up because you're not firing at me. Because you're moving. Once you commit to move, you got to keep going. So let's go on from that one. Let's go in for there.
Okay.
And that guy buzzes over this way, which is fine. And these guys, this is where the pucker factor comes in. Again, the 7-0, you pop him. Not sure where he's going. He doesn't need to be going anywhere but to the broken units. He doesn't need to be up there. He's not getting off before that HMG is in position. It's not. He's got to get the 7-0 again. For who cares? This is meaningless for him.
I was a little surprised that I think he was trying to use the leaders to accelerate his unbroken units rather than leaving one back to rally the ones that were already broken back there.
Whose turn is it next turn? Whose turn is it now?
It's Germans.
Right. Can he rally these guys the next rally phase?
No, he cannot.
So when he moves here, what he has to do is spend turn 3 moving back to here. Now he's a turn behind. This unit's going to be 1 hex behind. This unit can be 6 hexes behind. Because as soon as you rally him, he just CXs and goes down the lane. This guy gets rallied, goes CXs, goes down the lane. These guys are 2 turns behind right now because the 7-0s didn't come to here. You gotta come here. Gotta come here. At this point in the game, these guys gotta be rallied. You have 3 broken squads. These guys need to be rallied. This guy, well, you still got this unit, so that's one thing. So anyway, if these guys are prep firing and not putting pressure, these have to rally because these guys against a 24 flamethrower aren't going to get the job done most of the time. So let's continue. So you're talking about that. He's prep firing over here. You actually got a result on that, which is crazy. You guys started rolling some crazy dice to the side. That side was like the 3. So he's in a world of hurt over here.
I was rolling out my ass. There was just no way about it. I mean, it was just it was amazing.
Yeah.
All the good luck I had, his was equally bad. It was.
That's all right. That's just dice rolling. But he's the units in the middle are, for all intents and purposes, irrelevant to the game. They're all busted up. They're DM'd. Nothing's gonna happen to them. And so I think we're rallying. And let me ask you this: it's American turn what? America turn 2. Tell me about this guy.
Okay, getting ready to put him on his horse, CX him, and get him as far as 8 hexes can towards the left.
Why didn't you move him on turn 1?
Phil wasn't entirely sure that he wasn't going to try to push through that
this
road
way?
Over here, yeah.
Okay.
And go up that way.
Okay. So that's fine. But at least just move a little closer. So if these guys break, they just go here, and that way they could get back in the woods real quick. Just move him right here. If you don't want to use his modifier because he's in the woods and some of these guys weren't broken, not a problem. Not a problem. He's not gonna hit anyone with his flamethrower. But if these guys break and let's say he makes a charge at you, they're dying. 24 flamethrower, they're dying. And these guys can route back here. Is he going to pursue you? He might send a half squad there to completely eliminate you, which I would do. But which is fine. But just move me a little closer, you guys. because this FF6, your primary reason why the flamethrower is there, is no longer a consideration. Now you put them on Plan B. If you don't want to move him first, I got no problem with that. Because if these guys break, they still need him here. They pretty much need to move in unison. So I have no problem with that. So just scoot them up a little bit more. That's all. It's very minor, very minor, very minor. Okay. But just something that you never know. One hex can make all the difference in the world. Again, when they break, if they break, they don't have to route back 2 hexes or 1, 2, 3 hexes. They route here, and if he pressures you, they route back 1 hex. They pressure you, route back 1 hex. You have 3 turns of routing unless he does some sort of surrounding thing. So that gives you 3 opportunities. If you have to route back here and then he pressures you, you have 1 turn to get out of those units and then they die. So again, he can make adjustments for that, but he has to spend valuable units in doing that, which he wants to move off. So not a problem. So this is your movement phase. You're moving units up. He takes a shot at you there. All these guys are shooting at you, apparently, I think.
Yeah.
And how does he kill you there? I don't know why you die. I lost that. I lost that point there. He rolls a 5. Let's say he rolls everything,
5.
right?
He had...
He got 16 firepower plus 3. A 5 on the 16 is a 3 morale check. I think what happened is I'm not sure what happened there, John. I'm just not sure what happened there. He rolled a 5. The only thing that's going to kill him on the 16 chart.
I rolled a 10, so.
Right, but you're just broken, right? You won't die. Yeah, and you rolled a morale check, so I'm not sure what happened there, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We make mistakes. We just boom. We just go for it, right?
Okay.
Doesn't matter. We something happened there.
I think. Okay. Here's the thinking was. I think it may have been faulty. I think we were thinking with the ELR that was, and it was already a half squad, so that eliminated the unit.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Did you read up on ELR after that?
No.
Okay, read up on ELR after this.
Okay.
Okay. Read up on, essentially break. If a broken unit breaks again, then he's casualty reduced. If the casualty reduced unit breaks again, he's casualty reduced. Therefore, for most of the time, they're eliminated because the squad, if it's a full squad, he casualty reduced like you did because you're 3, 4, 6, right? You half squad, and then if he casualty reduces again, not just broken, if he casualty reduces again, he'll die. So he'll have to break, and then break again, then he'll die. Okay, so check up on that. Read casualty reduction, and read ELR. Write those down. Do those 2. Very important, especially in this game, because that is an MMG ready to do some damage. Right?
Oh, I know. That's why I put him there, because he was going to be shooting right down that road.
That's a big roll. So that's just knowing the rules. I have no problem with you guys messing that one up. Not a problem. It's easy to get confused. Easy to get confused. Even ASL players get confused with casualty reduction all the time. ELR, the whole 9 yards. It's you will not be 100% comfortable with it as you start playing. It's like an obscure thing which happens every once in a while, so don't worry about it. Just read up on it and you'll become familiar with it. It'll become second nature. Again, not a problem. I just didn't know what happened to him. You're the man, and so therefore I've got explanation. I'm on board with that. I'm on board with making mistakes. I want people to make mistakes because we learn. Now we make a mistake, don't we?
Sure do. Yeah.
That little bullshit two even shot is kind of actually that's a 1 even shot, so that's a normal morale check. This is where your 10 morale leaders eat it. That's where my guys break. And that's the whole. Did this guy move here?
No.
Are you going to move him?
I am now.
No. Were you anticipating on moving him?
I forget at this point.
All right, no worries. Not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. But anyway, he breaks. The squad does not break, however.
That's true. Yeah.
The squad does not break. However, you are no longer with the leader.
That is true.
And so therefore you don't get the leader's portage point bonus. I'm not sure where he started from. So let me back that up. Hopefully we'll back that up, and of course it doesn't back up anymore. I think he was in L3.
Almost positive it was L3.
He was in L3, right? So you didn't
Yeah.
CX, and you can't late CX in starter kit. So you're
That's
going there
correct.
for one. When the leader breaks, it passed it. Damn it. The log got jacked up. Anyway, when the leader breaks, you no longer have his movement factors nor his portage point capabilities. The squad would have to stay there, or you can move to J2. But this is 2 movement points, so it's 1 here and 3 to go there. You only have 2 movement factors when he breaks. Because you're not.
So I did an illegal move.
Yeah, which again, just one of those things. Just read up on leader movement factor bonuses. You must remain with the leader the entire movement phase that you're using him. If he broke, right? And let's say, oh, in that case, let me throw smoke, right? That's fine. You're still with the leader. And then you just throw smoke. It's 1, 3, boom. And then you're pretty much done. But that's fine. Again, that's fine. Just keep in mind that to get that movement factor bonus, that you got to be with the bad boy. And he happened to break, which is fine. Again, not a problem.
Yeah,
little things that just doesn't matter. Just keep playing, baby. And then I think you're talking about stuff. He rallies again. He rallies here. Look what happened.
I don't know. When I got that Modus into J3, that's pretty much where he sat for the rest of the game, and that pretty much,
Yep.
sealed off the end of the Skyline Drive. Coming out of the woods.
Right.
I mean,
No, whether you move there, it doesn't really matter. The only difference that matters is if you're here and then you advance in there, what difference does it make, John? Tell me what happens when that unit advances in there without the leader.
it advances in there without the leader.
Does something happen?
It doesn't have. Well, it goes to EX because it's using all of its movement.
Right.
points.
So that's the only difference it makes. You're where you wanted to be, and just because you missed a CX and you didn't move from there, not a big deal. Essentially it's a +1 later on, and yeah, not a big deal.
Okay.
It's 8 firepower plus you're just ripping things down anyway. So the rest of his guys, he did rally his leader. He did rally his leader here, John. If he had that half squad, he'd have a high potential to rally a half squad. But you killed him. I think you killed him earlier, or something happened. He just somebody died. So you did well with that guy. That guy probably. I think this guy probably saved the game for you. This is the guy that saved the game for you.
But it's not letting me do it. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, but it's just whatever. But the MMG 666 probably saved the game because he stopped pretty much about 5 squads.
Easily.
He stopped. Jeez, I don't know what the hell he had now. 2, 3.
Yeah.
4.
So he definitely got he was one of the MVPs.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
He pretty much stopped 12 victory points from getting off. These guys could have an impact, but he did all the heavy lifting. I don't think the 10-2 didn't shoot it there once. He did the heavy. He stopped 5 squads. That's the value. That's the strength of this sort of situation. You want MMG, given this sort of situation, can wreak havoc. So be wary when you're the Germans playing this. Be aware of what this guy can do. And these guys didn't even join the fun. They just didn't. Matter of fact,
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, the 10-2 and the HMG has had 0 effect in this game, and your other unit here has had 0 effect because I think you moved him and he broke, and now he's up here and he's dead. Literally, at this point in the game, 2 of your 3 machine guns have had 0 effect in the game. Is that a good thing? No, it's just one of those things. One of those. I would anticipate them having there, but honestly, the 10-2 pretty much just moves in reaction the first turn or 2. So he's usually not going to fire unless it's defensive fire. So that's not a big deal. But unfortunately, he broke. So these guys are continuing moving. He's making his move. Not a problem. You pin him, good. he starts to make his move now, and right here, it might be. He's taking a big chance on trying to get these guys out.
Yeah.
He's taking a big chance on those guys out. He's trying to avoid the flamethrower. You know, that's your okay. That's your HMG right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you have replays like this. So this is kind of rough for him. Does he have to do? Does he have to do this on turn 3? That's the question you need to ask yourself. As if you were the German player, does he need to do this on turn 3?
Not on turn 3, no.
No. No. He considering he's got this, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 squads broken. Get these guys rallied up by the end of turn 4, which means your rally phase, and then you've got 2 movement phases that you can just CX them. You CX them this way, make him shoot, he can. That's 10 hexes. He can make it in 2 movement phases. So this might have been a little bit premature, but that's his decision. I have no problem with that. It's just something that he has to look at. It's like, do I need to do this now? Maybe he thought he did.
I think he was probably trying to take advantage of the fact that the squad at the end of the road with the MMG was dead, and he'd broken the leader, and he knew that a down 2 leader was probably going to self-rally. 10 down 2 was going to self-rally in a building, next time rally phase came around. And so I think he was just trying to get out while the getting was good.
Okay, that's fine. Where's this leader going to route to?
He didn't. Wait a minute. Hang on. Is that a building hex? No, he went someplace. I think it was L3.
Okay.
I forget.
Okay. So he could technically route if he had nobody in the LOS, he could technically route forward. But that's where, like, if you put a guy back here that's safe, that can't get shot by him, but he still has LOS to him, now he can't route forward. You force him to route to K2 or back over here, right?
I don't think that wouldn't have been available to me, I don't think, because the guy right here, that'd definitely be moving him forward.
Oh, right. No, he's not in LOS, but still. But yeah, you guarantee that. If he was right here, that's fine. But he moved up. But just to make sure so he can't route forward, just put a guy here, especially after the first guy gets plastered.
Yeah.
There's if you're here and there's another squad back here, is anybody getting across that street to get that medium? First of all, you don't have any squads over there, right?
Oh, sure don't.
You don't have anybody over there. Are you moving that HMG over there when these guys are right here?
No, I am not.
You're staying right where you are, right? So you have 1 squad, and he's just moving up now, which is a good idea. He's just moving up now to having to deal with you. It's going to get hot and heavy, but he's moving up to try and deal with you, which is fine. That's the plan. But if he could get enough supporting firepower so you can't make that crossroad thing, then, and he gets these guys up, he's got a couple more squads that he could do. Problem is, that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
This guy needs to be, honestly, this guy needs to be eliminated. He is stopping all the free movement down in this part of the map. He can't freely move over here because he'll get shot. He can't freely move over here. Well, over here, he'll get shot.
He makes it through to the end of the game.
Yeah.
It amazed me. Absolutely amazed me. It's almost like those conscripts you had in clearing Colville, that wound up in the exact same woods. They just seemed to live there for they held up the Americans.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, that's he has to be out of your way for more than one reason, because when these guys break up here, this unit could just move up here and start keeping them DM'd forever and ever. Yeah. And it's a problem. And this guy, he's just been rolling bad. That just happens. But that's just when you just swamp him. You just surround him with 447s, and then he just dies. He breaks and then he dies. But I honestly think this is probably a turn or two early. But that's the choice he decides to take, and I'm good with that. That's just a game decision. If he got those guys off early, you'd be hard pressed. I mean, free victory points are free victory points. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
He thought that he could get you to first fire on the HMG, so I don't have a problem with that. Very risky, but the payoffs would have been huge. Payoffs would have been huge. Again, these forces down here, even this thing down here, has kept those other guys away. So, oh, what happened to that 747? Again, when you get the bouncing ball moving around, it's hard to track it. The 747.
This is what happened is I was moving a CX counter and not moving the actual.
Oh right.
Moving the actual unit, and so that's just a mechanical error on my
part.
part.
Okay, just right here. So essentially, your 747. I guess your 747 did go up there, so I can understand him trying to get off then. Yeah. Hey, old bull, how's it going? Because he was down here still, and he must have been a ghost up here. No problem with that. That makes it real hard. I understand that. No problem. And your guys were over here too. They still had him over here. So that's just a jeez. What the hell's happening here? That's just a replay. And this guy's probably over here somewhere too. So
I don't know why he's still sitting over there, because I would have moved him quite a bit.
Right. So after these guys break, now at this point in the game, he has nobody off, right? He needs 10. Who can he get off? Who can he get off to win the game?
Who can he get off?
You tell me.
Wow. Okay.
This is where these are all the units. Where can what can he get off? He needs 10 points. What can he get off?
He can get 5 on the right. Well, I don't know if he can or not, because he still has to deal with the MMG there.
Right. Let's see he gets half these units off. Let's see the 8-1 hightails it, and he gets like a half squad with the 8-1. Let's see he gets this guy off. He does eventually get the 8-1 off. You remember that. So these guys get off. So how many points is that? Do you know?
It was just him. It was just the leader.
Yeah, but let's say he gets these guys off.
Okay.
How many points would that be?
That's 3. Gotcha.
Good. You know how to calculate it very fast. Excellent. 237. He's not going anywhere. He's not making it. He's just not. You've got machine guns that can just back up and shoot. So down here, he has 2 movement phases with these units down here. Can he get any of these guys off?
Whew.
Let's say they all rally.
Man.
Miraculously, they all rally. Can he get any of those guys off? Oh, in this general direction. Let's count it. 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. He could get them off in 2 turns if he just runs down the road. Highly unlikely, right? Yeah. Same thing with these guys. Highly unlikely. These guys, this guy's not going to rally because this guy's going to keep them DM'd when these guys route back here. He's just going to move next to him and keep them DM'd. And this guy's never going to rally.
Yeah.
So there's 747s right there, and your HMG probably does not have LOS to this hex right here, but that's fine. Do you need it? Probably not. Once he gets his MMG, he doesn't need anything. You just fire point blank and leave 1,000 residual right there. So
and that's kind of what happens towards the end of the game.
Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, right now in the game, he can't win. Let's see, he gets this guy, and this guy off, which would be a miracle. Right. That's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 victory points. If all those guys got off, running through an HMG with a 10-2 leader, and a flamethrower, and a 747, which is going to put down 6 residual firepower. If not, yeah, it's going to put 6. Even if you fire 20, it'll be 8. At that point, I would fire here to leave residual, and then here, because they have to move through I-1. So, for all intents and purposes, he can't even win the scenario at this point. Again, this unit and this unit is the reason why that's occurred.
Yep.
Simply this unit and this unit. This unit stops them from free running. This unit destroyed the center force, which if he got through, would put a real big problem on your guys trying to win. These guys then have to stay and fight. So, so you saw how this scenario kind of unfolds. It's a very interesting scenario in terms of both sides have to be mobile. Even though the Americans are defending, they have to be mobile. And the Germans have to essentially, it's like a race to who can get where they need to go first. And then once you get there, that's when you get into the running a unit down here to start drawing some attention. So these other units could try to get off. Just take what we learned from here so far. Your flamethrower, it looks like, I mean, he was avoiding that thing like a plague. He caused all these guys up here to break because they avoided him. You know, then him dying there cost 3 units to break. That's a win without fire. Well, that's assuming you didn't fire the weapon at all. Thanks for watching. We covered a lot of John's scenario, figured out his 2 major components that added to his victory, that allowed him to achieve his victory. 546 on the left-hand side, stalwart defense, and the 666 in the center with the MMG. Very effective, and the other guy on the left side didn't break. Caused mayhem for the Germans. Really caused mayhem for the Germans. All the other units, for the most part, were secondary. So that was interesting for me to learn that. I would figure the other troops would have a much stronger impact. Didn't happen. That's why we play the game. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tactical Tuesday. You are free to join us on the Discord server on Tuesday nights. The link is provided on the Facebook server. I'll provide the link down below that if you want to join, bring your VASL replays, VASL logs, other situations that you might have up. We can go over those, explain some concepts and things like that. We're all here to learn. We're not here to change your plan. Again, we stuck with John's plan. We still want to maintain what the basis of the plan is. I'm not changing anybody's plan. I'm just saying we got plan A. What's your plan for this unit? What's your plan for that unit? Let's go with it, but make sure these guys aren't sticking themselves in harm's way. So join us next time, Tactical Tuesday. Thanks a lot. Leave your comments below, and we'll be glad to answer them.